So I stayed up until 8 a.m. I did not go to sleep.
I'm a little more nervous than I thought I was going to be.
I have a camera on you every week.
I know, but you get under the lights all of a sudden and heart starts beating.
Do you know who the mom is?
Goody, get him, jump.
What did he just say?
I mean, put it in your calendars. 2026 Congress. We're going to make this happen.
Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. This week, it's been a little bit of a doozy, so we have a lot to talk about. And I don't know if you've noticed, we've been just a little bit off schedule. So normally, this is every Monday, faithfully, but with foaling season, with how many videos we've been putting out, with how much content we've been taking, we've got like so much backlogged. We're going to have to be extra posting a little bit for the next couple of weeks. And so we're a little bit just behind on Catching Up with Katie's. So after Happy has her baby, she is the last mare due right now. I'm sure we'll get a little bit better back on schedule. So hopefully this hasn't disturbed y'all's, viewing pleasure, but let's get in. I don't know.
Let's just start. Y'all get it.
You know what? Let's just get into it.
I hope this, Anyway.
So let's get into what happened over the past week.
Yeah.
Lots happened. And also let's not glaze over the fact that Nate's in the hot seat today. Nate's in the chair.
Hello.
He is not behind the camera. He's in front of the camera today.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Honestly, I'm a little more nervous than I thought I was going to be.
I can tell.
Why?
I just thought, I'm around cameras all the time. This will be super chill.
You have a camera on you every week.
I know, but you get under the lights all of a sudden and heart starts beating.
Abigail's over there like, yeah. She's like, you understand, because Abigail is over here with Matt. She's on Snapchat today. She might throw in a couple of zingers if she wants. But she's not going to be the center of attention today. Right. I do want to ask, before we get into what happened over the past week.
Yep.
I want to highlight. So Nate has begun riding lessons.
Yes, I have.
And he's been taking riding lessons at a place near his home. And I would like to hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it's this stable farm little ranch place called R&M Stables. And I was very uncomfortable on a horse. And we were talking about, we're going to do a horse show. And so I was like, hey, is there a place near me where I can just go get on a horse and like work through some nerves? Mm-hmm. And so I start Googling, I'm looking all around on maps and stuff. And there's like 3 kind of near me. So I call and he's like, no, I don't do lessons. I said, well, let me explain the scenario I'm in. Mm-hmm. I said, at some point I have a horse show coming up. And I've only been on a horse once. I'm trying to use anything to get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
He's like, now that's interesting. So why don't you just come on out and we'll talk. So I went out and, he let me sit on one of his horses that day and just kind of go around a little bit.
That's around.
And then, I've just been going ever since, like once a week.
The horses you've been on, you got on Bo one time and walked around.
Yes.
You got on Denver.
Yes.
And like trotted around.
Big jump.
We did go over to Aaron's off camera the next day and we rode some horses just for privacy reasons. We didn't show all of that. And so you rode basically like a Congress champion Western pleasure horse. And so you were on some very specific, like very trained horses before. And then these are more like trail horses, like, whatever. So it might be a little bit interesting for you going back and forth, but in the long run, it'll probably end up being good.
I think it'll be good. It's definitely very different, especially just like the caliber of horses that I have sat on they're horses that I pretty much didn't need to know how to ride. Like somebody off the horse can just make a sound and then the horse just does the thing. Yeah,
that like Aaron's like, I'm just going to kiss for you actually.
Yeah.
And it just loped off.
That's exactly it. And so I'm definitely having to learn how to ride.
Right.
And a lot of the lessons have been more like equitation stuff. So it'll get into, okay, well, how do you get beside a gate and like open the gate and then go through and close it?
Functional riding
is, I guess, more what I've been learning.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely. You got to know that stuff first.
Yeah, I'm very excited with the experience I've had so far.
And I'm excited because Abigail likes to ride, and really we haven't been riding very much. We haven't ridden in months probably because all the ones we were riding over the summer are either pregnant now or, just gave birth. And then Bo, he's 25. We've got to do some of his little yearly maintenance stuff here in the next week or so and get him back into riding shape. So with him, I like to like do some exercises and, lunging him for couple weeks and getting him back into things before I just jump on and start riding.
Right.
And so we are definitely going to get back into, multiple times a week riding. We're going to ride Sophie. I'm not saying we're not going to ride like Kennedy and Annie and Ethel and the ones that have babies on their sides, like light riding. You expressed that. So, okay, going back this past year, y'all saw Annie in a horse show. Rebecca's little girl rode her in the walk trot.
Yeah.
That's probably going to happen again this year. We might do that again after her baby is weaned. And you expressed you would do the adult walk trot.
Yeah. I went last year and I saw her do it, and it was just such an inspiration to me. And
he's like, you know what? I'm that 7-year-old. I can do that.
Yeah, and I want to try. I'm going to do it.
And Annie's, here's the thing though. So she was, and she might branch out a little bit more this coming year. That was just her first horse show. But like they have walk trot events in everything. So they have walk trot trail, walk trot horsemanship, walk trot Western pleasure, and then they have it on the English side too. So like if you practiced enough, now I don't want to ride her. She's gonna be pregnant, so I don't want to ride her enough to get her ready to do like the lope stuff.
Right.
But you could totally do like the pattern. I think you could do it.
I want to do it.
I think you could.
I'm going to. If there's a horse available for me to do it on, I will do it.
I think Annie'd be about the only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if Annie's an option, I'm in.
All right. Well, that's the Nate segment.
Hey.
And now that's over.
And now that's over. And we won't be revisiting. But yeah, this past week was crazy. We had a new baby. So that was baby number 7 of the year. We had, actually this wasn't on camera for YouTube, but I went and rode Whezzy, which is Indy's baby from 2022. So she's a 3-year-old this year. And then we also did so much breeding stuff. It's not even funny. We potentially have 6 mares pregnant as of right now. So we'll just do like a little recap. In all of this, in the past week, was there anything that stood out to y'all that you want to talk about? Or are we just going to do an overview?
This week that stood out,
Yeah, there's a lot.
there was a lot.
That's crazy, by the way. Already 6 maybes.
Okay, so as of right now here's the thing. Odds are not everyone's going to take.
Right.
Odds are. I think I have them written down.
I thought we were like 3 in my head, but I guess
So Dr.
Time's
Matthew
rolling.
just bred. I just got the text saying just
Didn't even
bred.
know we were breeding.
Okay, I just got the text from Matthew saying just bred Ethel.
No.
Ethel's not there. That's early.
Tell them the dates, the expected due dates for 2026 so far.
if they all take.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them.
No, you do. You want to hear them.
You're gonna hate it because this is the first 6, and then there's like probably 6 more. Okay, so if for some reason all of these mares took,
Yeah.
okay, so Raven, her due date's January 20th,
Okay.
so her safe date will be New Year's Day.
Right.
Indy, February 7th. Willow, February 9th. Ginger, February 12th.
Okay.
Charlotte, February 12th. Erlene, February 16th.
I just put a record scratch
Can
in
you
there.
imagine they all do it on the same day? That would be crazy.
I think that the sounds are like going in there, so I put like a record scratch.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and then we also, it would have been 3 due on February 12th, but because Sophie, we're flushing her
Yeah.
and freezing the embryo for a time to let the test results come back. So she'll be a little bit later.
But if they went on their due date, 6 babies between January 20th and February 12th.
It's too many.
January 20th and February 16th.
Oh, okay. Much
too many.
better. Golly.
So 6 babies within a 30-day span.
It's going to be a
So we'll be at
it's
Katie's
going to be a
for 30
foaling
days.
season.
And then I still have to breed. I still have to put in a Kennedy embryo. I still have to put in the Waffle House embryo. I still have to breed Annie. I still have to. There's 3 more.
Who is the
I still have to do the Beyonce, and then I would like to do 2 Kennedys, and there's also a another embryo that I purchased that I'm deciding on whether I'm going to wait a year or not on it, but we'll see. So that anywhere from 10 to 12.
Yeah. What is the Waffle House embryo?
So Waffle House is a mare that Kristen Gallion purchased this past year. I think she won the Junior Western Pleasure with I think she won it with Katie Zeidema, and then she's won the Congress. She's won all the bigs in the junior, and then Kristen purchased her for her daughters to show and for her to show. Yeah. And as soon as I saw Kristen had purchased her, I was like, okay, if you ever get an embryo, let me know. And so she was like, I don't think we are this year. And I was like, cool. And then like a month later, she was like, well, we might. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah. So they're doing ICSI with her this coming week, I think. And then, we're going to go from there.
Well, what a great name for a horse. But this entire time, I mean, I've heard Waffle House being thrown around.
You think it was a boy?
I thought it was a sick sponsorship.
I just thought we were talking about Waffle House.
No, it's a mare.
I thought it was like a lunch
What a
option.
cool sponsorship, though.
All right, so are we going to Waffle House after this?
But yeah, so there's a lot going on. We are taking Willow today to go put Trudy's embryo in. So she's not technically she doesn't have the embryo in her yet, but like the embryo when it's frozen is 6 days old. Okay. So like it getting put in today, it's as if she was bred 6 days ago.
So they breed, flush at 6 days and freeze it.
So because that embryo was made from ICSI, no.
Okay.
With Sophie this week, yes. Because it's a conventional flush.
Gotcha.
We didn't do ICSI. So yeah, it's a 6-day-old embryo getting put in. So you have to go back 6 days.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And same thing with Charlotte. We're doing that on Friday with Charlotte.
Cool.
Yeah. So lots of, and then Raven, it's almost time for her heartbeat check. So we'll do her heartbeat check probably Friday or Saturday. So
it just goes so quick.
It does. I mean, we're not even done with foaling season, and we might have the first half of next foaling season in the uterus.
It's like everything, it just starts rolling, and then
their gestation's so long, you have to think of
right
far ahead. Yeah. And so we are waiting on Happy. Happy's only at 306 days gestation today, so we've got probably 3 to 4 weeks before we're worried about that baby. We can sleep for a little bit.
We got 21 sleeps, guys.
21 sleeps, maybe. Who knows what she'll end up doing? And Jonathan's like, hey, I've got this turkey tournament. It's right smack dab on the day that she had her foal last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, great. Awesome.
But it's okay.
What you doing over there on your phone?
He's posting.
I'm posting a story of this catching up with Katie.
Live action.
Oh, so are you finally going to start on socials?
Well, I tagged you. Not that you'll ever see it, but I tagged you.
Tagged you too,
He gets
Nate.
so butthurt about my
some
automated
Snapchat.
message.
Wait, you tagged me on Snapchat?
He did.
There's
Not that he probably has.
an automated message that pops up on Instagram when you tag me in something or send me something, just because my DMs are kind of crazy. And he will send it to me constantly being like, okay, I see what our friendship is.
Nate has conversations with the
I have
automated,
conversations.
with the
He
automated
does.
system.
I'm pulling it up. These are my favorite. I tagged her. I was at the gym. I just posted a story. And
a cringy story.
yeah, very cringy. And she said, thanks for the mention. If you haven't already, join my email list to stay updated on the newest farm merch and post. It's free. Horse emoji, cow emoji. I said, please stop saying this every time I tag you. We are friends in real life. That's the end of it. If you keep this up, then I'm going to have a confrontational conversation about it. And if you think you can hide behind the crowd, know that I'm not afraid to have this conversation in front of everybody. I'm not scared. And then I said, unsubscribe.
I don't know that we've ever talked about the email list on YouTube.
We haven't.
The email list is actually pretty cool. We do weekly email blasts. Sometimes we have special offers on there. Sometimes we just kind of say what's happened over the week, and we link special videos and things like that to tell you where to go to see things. It's usually where new merch launches get put out first. And so sometimes they come with wallpapers for your phone. We'll make special wallpapers of the foals. So anyway, we will put that link here where to go on my website to go sign up for that. It is free. You can unsubscribe at any time.
Is that what I unsubscribed from?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was something different.
No.
I'll subscribe back.
Yeah,
I like
it's
the
free.
emails.
It's easy. And
yeah, I like the
there's good
emails.
emails. And they're usually all pretty and colorful and have cute graphics
yeah,
and
they're
stuff.
great.
Yeah. Anyway, back to normal broadcasting.
I want to get back to the riding.
Okay.
So you went and rode Whezzy.
Yes. Whezzy is Indy's baby from 2022. So she is our first foal from like after I rescued Indy from a kill pen.
Yeah.
And her sire is Full Metal Jacket. Picture here. So Full Metal Jacket, he's a ginormous, beautiful black stallion. And that's also who Wally's dad is. So we have 2 full siblings through Indy. And so Whezzy is at a trainer that's like an hour from here and just getting like a good foundation. So we sent her in her 2-year-old year. They did very light riding, lots of groundwork, taking her to horse shows just to like lunge around and ride around, just to see the sights. Kendall, she goes to ropings. And so she'll take her to ropings and get her used to just like standing there tied and being in an atmosphere that's a little crazy, you know, and it's just been really good for her. And so she and Wally both, they're going to be so gigantic and they're growing kind of late. And so I decided, you know, absolutely they're not going to be doing 3-year-old stuff. They're not going to be showing as, you know, 3-year-olds. We will just be slow with them. And so at the end of the year, I think she'll probably change programs to go learn to pleasure drive, which is with a cart. I think she's going to be fantastic at that. And then do the hunters. So go over fences and jump and things like that. But yeah, the riding her was so fun. It's such a full circle moment to literally help one of the babies be born. And then 3 years later, you're like sitting on his back and riding and it's like beautiful. And the talent that you saw before it was even born is there, you know, it's a fun thing.
So you don't talk much about the cart stuff.
I've never done it.
So why with Whezzy do you think that would be a good
it's
path?
a trotting event. So they have a walk, a park gate, and a road gate. So park gate is like a slower trot and a road gate is like they are sending it. And so really the horses that thrive in that class are the big hunter typey that can really stretch out in a giant trot, and like a big floaty trot is wanted, and that's what she has. And so because I don't think she's going to be able to do like the Western events to be an all-around horse, I think her all-around career will encompass like the hunter under saddle flat stuff, the pleasure driving, and the hunter stuff. Like I think she's going to be an English all-around horse.
Gotcha.
So I just want to make her versatile, and I think it would be good for her to do multiple things. So,
well, I'd be excited to go watch. I've never seen that.
And that's the thing. The trainer that I have in my sights for her, and I've talked to him a little bit, he's very talented and very good at that. And I expressed to him, you know, I definitely want to go at her pace. I don't want to send her to you and then we just hammer her. Like I want longevity. I'm not planning on selling her because I think she'd be an incredible piece to like the breeding program. She is so genetically diverse from anything I have. I mean, other than her mom, like breeding her with both of my stallions, it's something so different. So Whezzy, she's been kind of like a side character for a long time, but I think she's going to be a main here soon. Yeah. So
with the, when you're looking at a horse, what makes you go, maybe not great at the Western?
She's not going to be able to go like that slow.
Just like watching how they move?
Yeah, because there's some big horses. Like I had a horse named Jordy. He was like the last horse that I tried to show. He was 17 hands, but his conformation and the way he moved allowed for him to jog and lope and like go slower, even though he was so big. Whezzy, her conformation, she's just a lot freer, a lot bigger strided, and it's just going to be a lot harder for her to come back and be that like Western horse. Because a lot of times we're not asking for them to be a Western pleasure horse. We're asking to do like the horsemanship or something like that for the all-around events. Yeah. And sometimes it's just really hard for those big horses that are huge strided to do the tight maneuvers in that pattern. So they're just better suited to the bigger, more open events. But there is one thing that I'm really excited for with Whezzy. So I've been talking to Lainey DeBoer about this for months. We talked about it at the Congress, even before the Congress. So she is starting this event.
Who is she? I don't know that name.
Who's Lainey DeBoer? She's awesome. She's an incredible trainer. I've looked up to her for the entire time that I've been in AQHA. So she is an incredible hunter trainer. She does the over the fences and stuff. Yeah. And so she has been really advocating for the hunter under saddle horses in AQHA to be kind of up to standard of what the rule book says the hunter to saddle should be. They shouldn't just be big Western pleasure horses going around. They should be true hunters. They should be moving in such a way. And so she is asking AQHA to introduce an event called the English Versatility. So it's basically like a class that encompasses some cavalettes or some poles on the ground, basically all these things that would like set a horse up to be able to then go jump. So it's not going to have jumps in it, but there'll be lead changes, speed changes. It's a pattern. It'll have all these things in it that I think will be a really good piece for the industry. Because like those horses that don't really fit into necessarily just the hunter under saddle, but maybe you're wanting to give them more time to mature to then go over the jumps or whatever. I think it's going to be a really cool event. And I think Whezzy would be really pretty in it.
That's also just kind of cool. I feel like, probably events aren't just added all the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a pioneer move.
Right.
So that's cool.
And we talked about it a little bit. I was like, if you do clinics are like if you go to a horse show and someone does like demonstrations or like they'll do like a little class almost. Yeah. I was like, if Wheezy's up for it, like, and we're at a show, like I would love to pair with you on like doing a clinic and filming it and like getting this out there, So it's good. I think it's gonna be a fun time.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that happened this past week was Gracie. Gracie had her baby.
Gracie had a baby.
I don't know where we left off, but
That wasn't a good one.
No, that really wasn't a good clap.
That wasn't.
There was a minimum contact on that.
Okay.
Better clap. It was a little better, but I think you got one more. I think
my hand hurts after that one.
Well, you're focusing on the wrong thing. That's solid.
You know what?
That's
You just do
pretty
it. Why was that so much better?
I know, that's like the best clap I've ever done in my life.
It's probably
I think my hand. Are your hands flat?
Are you clapping the palms or your fingers against your palms?
I go fingers against palms.
Fingers against palms.
That's what it sounds like.
But
Halt. Halt for 1 moment. When I do finger against palm, this is what it sounds like.
get you a little cup right here.
Yeah, you have to cup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Am I being taught how to clap right now?
Katie's gonna go home today and just go.
This will literally be her new thing.
Yeah. What if I just
it
be
was
like
chess and now it's clapping.
2 weeks. Everything's a 2 week cycle.
Yeah.
I'm not off chess.
You're not off chess, are you?
You played the other day.
You're a little off chess.
I beat you.
You played, but you're not off chess.
He said you played.
Well, I mean, that's not the question. Wasn't did you
Also-
beat me? The question was.
That game I had you look at? I was like, what do you think? What do you think about this? And you were like, White's got him for sure.
Yeah.
Wanted to resume that game. I look over, he's resetting all the pieces. He knew.
Because
You were cooked.
He knew.
3
He was
minutes
done. He
into
knew
that
he was
game,
done for.
3 minutes into that game, I was like, "It's your move," and she hit me with the classic Abigail. I'm probably just gonna go eat dinner, and so I assumed.
That is classic Abigail.
That is classic Abigail.
She says no. But to be fair, you were getting absolutely throttled in that game.
Dude, well, those 3 games I was playing foolish chess,
Foolish.
You were playing
I was
foolish
playing
chess.
Foolish chess.
and then I locked back in on that last game, and we had a good game.
I want to apologize to everyone in this room. There was a joke earlier in the first night that we stayed for Gracie where I was like, "Hey guys, this is just a little practice night," because I was so sure. I was so sure she was having it. I was never more sure in my life. I recalled my husband from out of state coyote hunting. I had everyone come in. We had dinner, all this stuff. And then we even did like a little trial run down to the barn. We all thought a foot was sticking out. And
Well,
Not
all. Not me.
I don't know what we all saw. It was an apparition. But we saw a foot coming out.
I did see it. I could have I'd have given $100 to say that was like a whole foot sticking out.
Well, Jonathan led the charge. He was the
He
first.
did.
it was.
He was
It was
like, "It's a
Jonathan.
foot,
More
it's
Jonathan's
time."
hysteria.
There's a foot sticking out.
Wishful thinking, I think.
And so then you looked,
what-
you're like,
what was
I don't
happening
know.
there.
And then Matt looked and he goes, it's a foot sticking out. And then you were like, that's a foot sticking out. And they were like, we should probably go down there. And, hey.
So I stayed up until 8 a.m. I did not go to sleep because every hour on the hour, she was laying down, rolling, biting her sides. And I was like, it's happening. And like every hour, I almost was like, get out here, But then she would just like get up and start eating and not doing anything. And so I did not go to sleep until 8 a.m. when everyone got down to the barn. And I was like, okay, call me if something happens. And then all day she just had milk streaming and like dripping, and we fixed her foal alert because it was kind of rubbed out. And then literally at 8:30, which was funny because so Rebecca was out of town. She was like, hey, do you mind taking some medicine over to my house? So I ran over some Tylenol to her house. And then within 8 minutes of coming back, I barely got my food down and the foal alert goes off. Yeah. And then we're down at the barn and we're all done by 10:30.
I'm glad we didn't try to make the broccoli and.
I know.
We did try to make the mashed potatoes.
I did make the mashed potatoes and then no one ate it.
Matt said, if you make mashed potatoes, I will have a whole bowl. Never had one.
Yeah, and then immediately she had a baby afterwards. The
still
mashed
sitting-
potatoes went to the
they're still
microwave,
sitting there
baby came out.
I think we just need to have a new rule that I don't come down for
Yeah, Nate is
for
bad
foal
juju.
watch. I think I might be the hindrance.
You were still there for this one.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
He showed up
I came the
after.
Showed up
first
after.
night, and then I went home.
He has not been.
You were coming though. We had told you, hey, come on. You,
You
just
may
weren't
just
there
have
yet.
to get posted, like just sit outside city limits or something.
Yeah.
like that.
You just
I don't
can't
know
be
what the
on
affected
prop.
area is. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like within 5 miles or whatever it is, but
If I'm there, they won't do it. Only one.
there's not been one.
No,
No, the
Ethel.
one that was already there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's been one out of the
don't know who Ethel was.
7 that decided.
Well, to be
when I was
honest,
there.
no one was there for Noel. So 1 out of 6.
1 out of 6. That's poor odds.
Dude, how great it would be.
Everybody else, yeah. And it's one of those things where if it was just me on Fall Watch, I don't think be as like it's happening tonight.
Yeah.
But like we're trying to capture everything.
Right.
We're trying to be there for all of it, and we're trying to not miss things and stuff like that. And so it's like if I have, over 50% in my head thinking that it's going to happen, it's like we're committed. So
I'm committed.
Which is why next year we're doing away with the foaling videos for YouTube because it's becoming a little too much
We're doing away with the foals next
we're doing away with the polls. That's kind of that was what brought this
leading
channel
into
on.
it.
This is
No.
actually our last episode.
We have a sad announcement.
Who's the last one up?
This year?
Yeah.
Who do you
Happy.
think?
He's about to say it. Happy. Happy. Gotcha.
Is Happy having her own baby?
I mean, I would hope so.
Genetically?
Genetically. No.
Whose is it?
It is good, better, best.
No.
Yes, correct.
No.
VS Code Red, yes. Who's the mom?
Who's the mom?
Do you know who the mom is?
I know who the mom is.
Beyonce.
Wrong.
That's always Beyonce.
Wrong.
I don't own the mayor.
Oh, goody goody gum drops.
Wrong.
No, we
again.
already-
That's
That-
literally
that's
the only
Dallas.
ones I know.
That's Dallas.
I'm out then.
Marilyn Monroe.
Ah, dadgummit. That was the other one I knew.
Oh, you knew it? You knew it?
Well, of the
Oh,
yeah, sure.
I only had one more guess.
That was the next one I was throwing out.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we have one left. So Gracie had the full sibling to Ruby. So we still haven't figured out a name. By this time that this is posted, he'll have a name, and I won't even.
Dude, and
I don't
every
even
single
know
one
it.
of the
Well,
foals
I
look
know
the
what
same.
I'm calling him until the end of time.
Doobie.
So we've all been calling him Doobie, Ruby and Doobie.
That's what everybody else is going to call him too. His new
That could
name
be
will
his
be
nickname.
not.
But he's got to have a big boy name too. And like,
Yeah.
I never in a million years would have been like, because I just already had it in my head who I was keeping this year. And then he came out and he's so big and gorgeous and beautiful and sweet. And he came over to me and I'm like, oh, are you going to make me keep you? So
He looks good.
That's how I felt with Lily.
He looks good.
We'll see.
With what knowledge of horses I do have, he looks good.
It is crazy to me how, like, in the last 2 years, I do feel like y'all have started to see things,
Oh, for sure. I couldn't have told you what a trot was.
Well, I remember even at NSBA World, which was last August, I remember sitting there, we were watching a pleasure class, and I was like, who's the good one and who's the bad one? And it was crazy that y'all so clearly could point out the ones that I'd be like, that's the bad one and that's the good one. But then, like, within judging, there's always like differences.
Right,
but
right.
and then when you get up to like, okay, there's 3 good ones. Who's the best one out of those 3? That's difficult.
Yeah.
Because they're all good. But
That's where I struggled.
y'all were like, yeah, that was. What did he just say?
I said that's where I
I
struggled.
struggle.
He had no idea what was good and what wasn't.
When we started getting into like experience stuff there, I started getting, it was a little out of my
That's
realm,
where I was
but
struggling.
up until then, I was locked.
I feel like at the Congress this past year, we sat and watched a bit. You were really good at picking out like the ones that because we were watching like one class and there'd be 5 splits. And so then they'd pull like 5 out of each split to come back for a final. And so we'd be like, okay, because we didn't have to see who'd win. We'd be like, I think these are going to be brought out. And you were really good at it.
Once you know like the number of steps, I feel like
The number of steps.
like the beats.
Yeah.
It's easier to see like what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a crazy dream?
Okay.
Oh.
What do you
want to
mean, no?
do or a dream that you had?
Oh, speaking of Congress, I would like to show at Congress. What is the road? What is
The road to Congress.
What is the road to Congress for me?
The short film, the road.
What is the most likely? How could I get there?
How could someone like you?
Exactly. Exactly.
You need to conquer the local shows first.
Okay. Yeah, but
That
what's
is
the
a good
roadmap?
question though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you ever like can anybody be in Congress?
Absolutely. You don't have to qualify for Congress.
Is there
You
like
can
a
just go.
like? Do you have to have like a?
You have to have a quarter horse.
Then that's like the only requirement.
That is it.
to have a quarter horse.
That
That's
is it.
interesting.
So my road to Congress is it just get comfortable doing local shows, or do I need to be like winning or?
It depends. Do you want to go show and have the possibility of placing, or do you want to go show?
So that's the only like you
I've
could
never
take a.
won.
Yeah.
I want to win though. I mean, the want is there.
Right.
I'd be fine if I got last. Just having an
The
experience.
highest I've gotten was 3rd, and that took me about 7 years of showing there and showing all year long, and whatever. But then there's some people who go to their first Congress and win, and then there's there's walk trot at the Congress. There's there's different levels at the Congress. So like, whereas I started off showing in like the 12 to 14 novice and the lower level youth classes, but then by the end of it, I was showing in the level 3 amateur classes, which I'm technically back to level 1 now, which is crazy because I've been out of it so long.
So I guess you still go. Anybody can go show Congress, but you still start like the only like.
You could, if he wanted to go show in the level 3 amateur, he could.
Okay.
It would be a poor choice.
Right.
Is the level 3 hard?
That is the hardest.
What is the level 1? Why wouldn't I be a level 1?
You are.
Oh,
I'm just saying, if you
could put your name.
if you
Gotcha.
just wanted to,
you could throw your name in the ring.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
But there's level 1, level 2, level 3, and there's some classes that it's the levels based on the horse. Some classes it's based on the rider. So you would need to get very comfortable at local shows, just because here's the thing, even if you take lessons and even if you're like, I have the jog in a bag, I'm good. There's a whole different ballgame to then going and executing it in a show.
Yeah.
And then once you figure it out at a horse show where there's 2 people in the arena and you're like, I'm good, I've got it. Then you got to go where there's a little more pressure to it. There's a little more like, okay, I'm having to navigate around 20 people in this pen and I'm having to show my horse the best. And I'm having, so there's different levels to it. And then there's like, oh, I'm not just walking and trotting now, I'm loping and I'm having to, you're not just executing, you're trying to execute it well. And then you're trying to, there's all these different levels. And so that's why a lot of times it takes people years. Sometimes you can get lucky and you go and, you just have like the best ride of your life.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, and I'll say this, you can go to the Congress, you can have the best ride of your life. You could have been showing for 20 years and you still might not win.
Yeah. So a follow-up, is 2026 too ambitious?
I don't know what horse it would be on. If I had one
That's a detail. We can figure that out.
That's a non-factor.
I don't think it's too ambitious for the walk trot.
What about the lope?
Might.
Then let's aim for that. And if we miss, we walk trot.
I don't even have a horse for you to walk trot on.
He's
He's gonna get a horse.
We can figure something out.
Okay.
I don't have a place for a horse.
We have
But
to
it's
do-
figuring it out.
We can figure
It's
something
getting
out.
have to
figured
do
out.
a Congress vlog this year or next year.
Well, this year I hope I'm showing this year. So
Yeah,
this
but
year
if Nate's
everyone's planning
showing,
on going.
I mean, well, there'll be a priority. There'll be some sort of priority there that we'll have to
You
divide
should
and
also
conquer.
show in the walk trot and then compete against each other.
Dude, that
For sure win.
my
Dude, I'll
My
tell you
horse-
this though. If you beat Katie, she would be so salty at you. Like it would never be the same. Like I mean, like it would be like friendship and stuff. Maybe probably like get over it, but like there wouldn't be no like, dude, Nate, congratulations. Like there would be none of that.
Like I think I'd be pissed because like he'd be riding one of my horses most likely.
Well, it should be accolades to you. What a great horse.
So we'll figure that out. I can't show Denver and walk trot. So my show horse,
Is that who you're showing?
he's ineligible. Yes,
Gotcha.
he's a stallion.
Yeah.
So he's got to be shown in the level 2 and above. He can't be shown in level 1.
Well, you could do like Ethel.
Her little leg popping,
Yeah.
her little back, her stifle injury.
Get Karen, dude.
Karen,
That'd be crazy. I'm just walking on the ground.
We need to go to a mini show.
I do want to go to a mini horse show and just see what it's about.
Let's do it.
I don't know where one is, but
Host
do it.
one.
I think it'd be fun to go watch.
Okay, so today, I mean, put it in your calendars. 2026 Congress. We're gonna make this happen. And
Let's see who would be old enough by then. By 2026, Penelope will most likely be showing there. I probably won't even be showing her.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
just be Jamie. It'll be 2027 before I have Molly, and then like I have like I feel like a couple of horses,
Yeah.
you know, at the shows and things like that. It'll be we're still kind of waiting on everyone to grow up before I have
right.
multiple horses, you know, going to the shows.
Could I rent a horse?
You could
Is that a thing?
Leasing?
You don't get that bond.
Like can you rent one just for one show?
No.
You would
I mean, I guess you could, but
you need a long-term lease.
yeah, usually because the way you lease in quarter horse, I think you basically have ownership over that horse, and I don't
okay.
know if
I was
there's
about
like
to
a
say, are you
6
really
month
coming
period.
out on top leasing?
Do
And
what?
Are you really coming out on top leasing? Like, you know,
I used to lease some. There are some horses that I leased when I was a youth and an amateur that I did like a year lease with or whatever because my older show horse retired and I didn't really have anything, and so I leased a mare one year, and then
Do you lease them like from a trainer
I
and they stay there?
in that situation, one of my friends was going pro and she didn't want to sell her mare, but she couldn't keep showing her, and so she wanted her to continue her show career, so I leased her from her.
Did she stay? Did she come here though?
No, she stayed at the training
You
facility.
could lease from someone and not actually have to.
A lot of
buy
places
a
when they
horse
do
for you.
leases, they do in barn leases. So they're like they have to stay here,
yeah, sick.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal.
but you have to pay for training, you have to pay for board.
Well, I'll lean on
pay
your
for showing.
expertise in this area, and we'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is officially like
I just wanted to go ahead and put the stake in the ground that I wanted to do. it.
dated. Like you can refer back to this day and say that this.
I think it would be really good for the quarter horse industry as well to show someone that had 0 horse experience and then showing like the road to,
Yeah.
you know, like whatever, like showing going to the local show, showing going to, you know, I think that would be a really cool thing because a lot of people don't even know where to start.
Nate's Road to the
I don't know where to
Congress.
start.
It's a
Yeah.
new
Nate's
gonna-
Road
it's
to the
gonna be a
Congress
film.
docu-series. Netflix is going to pick it up.
Netflix
Here we go.
original.
it's gonna be up. It's gonna be good for your industry. You take somebody like Nate who has like really no shot. I'm talking
Yeah,
like
you take
zero
someone-
chance. 0 shot.
Hey, y'all, I just got
like
nauseous
him.
because I'm so hungry.
Okay, yeah.
What?
All right, we're back. Let's get into you tell them.
Reacting to videos that y'all have sent in to our email. We have an email here. Put it in there, Justin. If you have anything about your animals that's funny that you want to share. Unfortunately, we can't share all of them. So sometimes we just pick a few out and then we laugh together.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into this. So this first one says, "Hi, Katie and friends. My dog Loki is an avid TV watcher. He gets so excited that he talks back. This video is the first time I ever heard him do this. I was home alone and momentarily panicked that someone or something unwelcome was in my house."
Oh my
so let's
gosh.
see.
I was confident, she backed up. Right. When I was showing I was scared, she just
Oh my.
locked that desire to want to be aggressive at all and establish the trust. Because this was a good dog. She's a sweet dog.
Oh my.
It sounds like
That'd
a
be enough
demon.
for me.
That is so funny. That would freak me out too if I'd never heard that.
Imagine it's like 1 a.m. and they're just standing in the hall or something.
Okay. Do you know that video about like the Nosferatu? And they're like,
I haven't seen this.
you must. Can't continue that. Okay.
Y'all know.
Y'all know. Some of y'all know. Okie dokie. So this one says, POV, you arrive to your rural Airbnb alone.
Are these all spooky? Is it spooky season?
And there's just a horse.
Oh.
And then he comes a trotting up.
Oh my goodness.
You know what's funny though? The first thing I notice about this horse being there is he has poultice on his legs. Someone's taking care of him. I would love that if that happened. He's got poultice on his
Who
legs,
of
so
your
he's just chilling there.
Hortus.
Someone put that on there for a little anti-inflammatory, make him feel good.
What is a poultice?
It's that white stuff that's on his legs. So
You know, like,
like
you
it
mix a
takes the
poultice
heat out.
together. Like you mix a little poultice.
He's just following her around.
Which one of your horses would be that horse?
To
just-
follow around,
just-
Ginger.
Ginger just.
Like if
Immediately.
you had a horse in an Airbnb,
Ginger would be like, love me, and then you go in and she's just she would just stare there. That's so funny. He's like licking
You
her
don't have your
dog.
mic, by the way.
Okay, this next one is from Chris. It says, this is Cozy, a 2-year-old golden doodle. She loves watching TV, but we have to be careful because she'll knock the whole TV down. In this clip, she tries to play with Molly, but it almost didn't end well. Okay. I'm so sorry if you end up having to get a new TV because of me. Let's see here. I think that's the video where Molly was weaned. Oh, it is, because there's Bo. Cozy. She's like, am I there?
everybody's pets love your videos.
It's just for pets.
I'll start turning on your videos when I leave the house for the dogs. I've never even thought of that. I bet they would like that.
That's funny that they like. That's I think the third dog I've seen. They
Yeah.
get so enamored by the horses running around. It's never by me talking.
No.
It's always just the horses running around.
We'll note that for future videos.
This is from Nina. It says, this is on my YouTube channel. It is dachshunds. So funny. Note, they do this regularly on purpose. Okay.
These are weenie dogs.
These are weenie dogs, which I'm a fellow wiener dog owner.
I'm a fellow wiener dog. Can relate.
My weenie does that to my bulldog,
They're
but my
riding each
bulldog's
other?
just, yeah, his little back legs are just stuck on top of her.
That's hilarious.
Dude, that's so many.
There's so many weenies.
It's like the camera keeps showing more and more and more.
I want that many weenies.
100 wiener dogs versus.
That's hilarious.
Kimmy needs a wiener friend now,
Yeah.
so that they can hop on each other.
He had one.
We all do, don't we?
Well, your wiener got too big.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, and this last one is from Chelsea. It says, this is our pig Penelope when she was a little gal. She loved the water and booty scratches even more. From Vermont. Let's see here.
Nice place.
Is this going to make me want another pig, even though Winston has been campaigning
These
for
are way prettier
no
than
more
Winston,
pigs?
too. That was a good song.
That's
She's having
hilarious.
a good time. That's so funny. That almost makes me want to get pigs again.
Like those pigs.
Almost. Those pigs. I'm sure she was small. She was a little girl. She got huge. I bet.
That was our only
somewhere
regret.
where you could put a pig.
I would get pigs again.
Did we talk about that on this?
Talk about what?
Yeah.
Did we talk about the arrangement? Abigail, every time I'm like, I don't want that animal, she's like, I know somewhere you can put it. Because, so Jonathan and I own about 30 acres down the road, and it has an old house on it. And so we are turning it into a duplex, and Abigail's going to live there in 6 months.
You knew
No,
that?
not even 6 months, like 3 months. That is where she is going to live once her lease is up, where she's at right now. And it has enough space for, some chickens.
Maybe.
Ducks.
She wants ducks. I don't want chickens, but I will be stealing eggs as rent.
Maybe like couple of horses.
He said, I just figured out my problem of where to keep a horse.
You can get one. I can get one.
It has a barn.
You
They
gonna
can
pay
be
me a boarding
friends.
fee?
Yeah.
Wait. If anyone's getting the boarding fee.
No.
And then since we're all friends,
It's free. So that's going to be really fun because then, if you want to be like a little homesteader with a little
Yeah.
I
garden,
want a cat. I want a Jersey cow, and I want 2 ducks.
only 2 ducks,
And honestly, I'd be good with
That's
that.
enough.
just a
But if
Jersey
you
and 2
wanted
ducks.
some piglets.
Okay, but if we got those kind of pigs, they would be meat pigs. So
see, I
would
don't
That's
wanna
what we
do
have.
so would you be okay being like raising them
No.
and then
No, I wouldn't.
that
what
time
if
of
we
year
came and
comes?
got
I
them
wouldn't,
without you
no.
home,
Yeah, she's
and
out.
you just came home and they
No,
weren't
because
there?
I would bond with them.
Yeah.
We got to get a 5th person in here just to pull up clips.
It's me.
That'll
I'm
be
Jamie.
Matt.
This is
Matt'll
literally
do that.
Matt will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally the guy.
I'm literally the guy.
Because
Literally the guy.
I'm
next
literally the
time
guy.
we have headphones, I'm gonna like be able to listen to all these sound effects that I've been putting in this video subconsciously, like the boom. Tss. But we can
They're
customize
just
our own.
Random everywhere.
Keep in mind, this is the first time using it. We do not know what they sound like.
I know what they sound like,
He can't hear them, and he's putting them in the video.
and they're probably all the way.
And they're permanent.
No, they're not.
Maybe,
They're all on
maybe
separate
not.
channels.
We've never.
Okay, because this is the first time I'm figuring out what that thing actually does. I just thought it was like a better sound thing.
Oh, it
It
does
is.
everything. We're gonna customize these sounds, and one of them's gonna be because of the horses.
Yeah.
For example, it has air horn, applause, record scratch, crickets, chimes, tombstone, like the rim shot, and then like 8 other mores. It has a sensor button.
8 other more.
It has a
8
sensor
other
button. You can go,
8 other moors.
Clip that chat.
8 other mores.
the sensor button's going to be a huge feature. That needs to be like on the preset.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we've got to wrap this up because we got to go put Gracie and her baby outside. We've got some Sonic on the way. Got things to do. And then I got to take Willow to the vet. So hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you would like to see in the future. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, this was fun. Bye.